Hello, I am Xarkun, and this is World of Warships Legends. Today, I've got a domination mode game for you on the map Shards. It features the Tier 7 Tech Tree American destroyer Fletcher, which is driven for us today by the artist formerly known as Captain Knievel. He now goes by the name of CaptCarolusRex, and he is, if you're not aware, a very good destroyer player. That much was evident in the Cossack replay I featured from him back when he was known as Captain Knievel some months ago. And this one is also a pretty excellent game, full of a lot of finessery. Knievel, or Rex, whatever you want to call him, I guess we'll call him Rex now, since that is his new chosen moniker. He's a fantastic destroyer player, and you are going to be aware of that acutely by the end of this game. Now, he stopped south of this Alpha Cap, where he has spawned, and spotted the enemy Z-23. Sent some torpedoes the way of the battleship, predicting that they might sail more toward the island there, sort of to the west of the Alpha Cap. He's pinging the friendly Yamato, who spawned with him south of the Alpha Cap, to get back, since that Yamato is sailing away, but the Yamato has no intention of listening. So that just leaves Rex here, and his division mate, who I believe is in the USS Massachusetts, and I'm going to try to call Rex by his new chosen name, but I might slip up and say Knievel. Anyway, the two of them are here together. Knievel has taken up a position behind this island, so while he is spotted by this Z-23, it doesn't seem like the enemy battleships out there, I think it's a Xarkun and an enemy Massachusetts, are capable of shooting at him. So he's put this island between himself and them, and that limits the amount of enemies that have access to him to only this Z-23. And you can see how well it's working out for the Z-23. In other words, it's not. That destroyer goes down to the secondaries of Knievel's division mate in the Massachusetts. And now, Knievel is starting to rain down fire on this Xarkun. Take note of his precise aim here, and the fact that he is still remaining behind this island. His division mate there in the Massachusetts is spotting the GK, and so Knievel is able to sit here, or CaptCarolusRex, whatever, and rain down fire on this Xarkun unspotted and protected by the island cover. His aim is landing his shells right where they need to go, into the GK's juicy superstructure. He started a fire, so he's switching to the armor piercing now, and you can see the individual shells don't do a whole lot of damage, but it does tend to add up significantly over time. So much, in fact, that the GK is sailing away from the Alpha Cap, and so is the red Massachusetts behind him. Looking at the map and the line of ships at the top of the screen, the blue team has lost 2 battleships to the enemy team's 1. There is a red destroyer in Bravo, being contested by a blue destroyer, and there are 3 red ships, possibly 4, with an unspotted destroyer up there in the northeastern corner of the map, poised to enter Charlie, with only 2 blue ships standing in their way, and those guys are reversed south of the Charlie Cap. They might be able to reset those red ships for a time, but it does look like the push is coming. So now, CaptCarolusRex, or Knievel, determines that it is time for him to enter the Alpha Cap. The destroyer threat has been eliminated, and the battleships don't seem too interested in pursuing the objectives. But there is an Alaska out there, which could potentially be a problem since it is a radar cruiser. Knievel, let's just call him Knievel, you know. He takes post behind this island, begins to rain down more fire on the GK, using his smokescreen generator for the first time. If he can get another fire on the GK and just generally farm some damage, that's all good stuff. and he can do it while he flips this cap, which right now looks like the only cap that his team is going to possess, at least anytime soon. And they do need the cap because they are behind by precisely 200 points. At least securing Alpha here will give them a bit of a passive income. Knievel's already up to 58,000 damage, and the Alaska has drawn very close. He must know that there is a destroyer in the vicinity, and he must have already exhausted his radar charge since it has not been used to reveal Knievel/Rex's location. His division mate in the Massachusetts is looking pretty unhealthy and moving up, likely that he's probably not going to survive this engagement, and because his division mate did engage the enemy Alaska, it looks like Knievel's torpedoes aren't going to come anywhere near the red ship. There is, however, a random friendly Alaska that was there to provide backup. He ends up taking out the enemy Alaska just as Knievel's division mate goes down, leaving him all alone. And you can see, with the way Knievel is spamming the well-played button on the chat wheel, that he isn't exactly pleased with his team's performance. Take a look at the top of the screen. You'll notice there are only 4 blue ships left versus 7 reds, and the reds hold 2 caps to the blues' single cap. So things aren't looking too promising. And just like that, another blue ship goes down, so now it's 3 versus 7. These aren't great odds, but if there's anybody who can pull a game back from the brink of oblivion like this, it is Captain Knievel, or CaptCarolusRex. Lightning out there, he's shooting at that lightning, and it only takes 4 salvos to remove the enemy destroyer. Knievel doesn't even look at the explosion because cool ships don't do that. Luckily for him, the lightning elected to drop a smoke screen, and the enemy smoke screen is actually preventing the enemy battleships from seeing Knievel right now. So with any luck, and with his excellent and precise aim, he is going to be able to finish off this very low health Massachusetts and decrease the discrepancy in ship count, at least by a little. Come on, where's the kill on the Massachusetts? There it is. That's his second kill of the game, and he's racked up 73,000 damage so far with just his guns and no torpedo hits yet whatsoever. He's inside of the Bravo cap now, in the process of flipping it, which is good. That will at least give his team the 2 cap advantage, despite their, being behind by a lot of points. And now, in fact, there are only 2 of them left. Knievel in the Fletcher and the random Alaska. The Alaska is engaging a battleship back there, and I do believe he is going to win that contest because he is going to stay alive until the end of the game. Enemy Amagi appears out there as Knievel flips Bravo. He launches torpedoes into the gap between those 2 islands, evidently predicting that the Amagi is going to turn a little bit more sharply in. We'll see whether his prediction was correct as these torpedoes sail forth. That Amagi is on a little bit more than 3/4 health, and it's very unlikely, even if Knievel's aim is right on, that a dev strike is going to occur here, but any damage he can do to these guys is necessary. We're getting close to the 5-minute mark, and it doesn't seem likely that the blue team can win on points. They didn't have the cap advantage for too long, and even if Knievel managed to get into Charlie, it would be difficult to flip it. Plus, there's still the concern of one final enemy destroyer that might start to undo all of his hard work. He did hit the Amagi with torpedoes, by the way. It wasn't enough to sink him, but it was enough to cause a flood. And since Knievel's damage numbers are static and not ticking up, that means the Amagi damage conned and stopped the flood. Looks like the friendly Alaska is shooting high explosive, which is great. Hopefully he lights a fire and removes more hit points. But, as I thought might happen, the enemy destroyer is clearly in Bravo, looking to undo all of the hard work that Knievel just performed. However, his torpedoes are nearly back online. Looks like he's trying to see whether he can land any on the Amagi, but the Amagi seems to not want to take any more of what Knievel's dishing out. Seems like he's going to go sail behind that island to avoid any more of Knievel's vicious metal fishes. The Jean Bart, on the other hand, appears to be sailing in a straight line at a steady speed, and he doesn't seem to be wise to the fact that the enemy destroyer is nearby. So Knievel does send out another spread of torpedoes just as the enemy destroyer flips Bravo. And this spread looks very, very promising indeed. If all goes well and the Jean Bart continues on his present course, it could even be a devastating strike. And it does look like the Jean Bart is, in fact, doomed. 3 torpedoes spell his demise. There's Knievel's third kill. 122,000 damage done. It doesn't count as a dev strike because I guess the Jean Bart did not have enough hit points remaining. Now the 2 enemy battleships are behind the island out there to the left, so Knievel is safe from them, but he is spotted by the last remaining enemy destroyer, which is a Shimakaze. And I think, since the Shima was spotted there, the Alaska might have radared him. So Knievel and the Alaska are both focusing down this enemy destroyer. Hopefully they can take him out, and if they can, it will be 2 versus 2. 1 Fletcher, essentially, versus 2 battleships with an Alaska to back him up. Knievel is smoking up as the enemy Massachusetts secondaries begin to shoot at him from behind the island there, and they are scoring some hits, but Knievel scores the final hit on the Shimakaze and takes him down. He is now at perilously low health, and there is still an enemy Amagi and an enemy Massachusetts to contend with. Shimakaze torpedoes sailing into the smokescreen, they are no threat, but 1 of the battleships has entered the Bravo Cap and is contesting it. We know it's not the Amagi, he is sailing away, and the Alaska appears to be sailing in the wrong direction to engage him. So that means it's the Massachusetts, and he is directly behind this island. So Knievel gets into his smokescreen once more. There are less than 2 minutes left to go. He needs to kill this Massachusetts and then probably kill the Amagi, or at least flip this cap, and then it might be enough to win. But the Massachusetts is just far too close. He's got the HE loaded. Knievel takes a wicked hit, and then there are the secondaries. 1 tap from one of those guns will end his life. But the torpedoes do look like they are on target. Knievel goes down, and so does his killer. There's the Kraken unleashed, 5 kills, 146,000 damage done, Confederate, high caliber, and it's just a flesh wound to go with that Kraken unleashed. That just leaves the Alaska. He's on very low health. It's likely he wouldn't survive an engagement with the Amagi, and frankly, he probably doesn't have enough time to even find the Amagi, which is a shame. It's a big shame that this is going to go down as a loss, because had it gone the other way, this would have been an epic carry. As it stands, Knievel, or Rex's back, is broken now for not much to show for it, except for one thing, which is quite exciting. Now, again, before we end, I'll mention that CaptCarolusRex has his own channel. I'll leave a link in the description. He's a fantastic destroyer player. I don't think he does commentary on any of his videos. That's where yours truly comes in, but they are excellent games that are well worth watching. So the battle here is going to end, but I want you to take a look at the leaderboard when it does, because even though CaptCarolusRex or Captain Knievel lost this game, he still manages to come top of the leaderboard across both teams with 2,700 base XP. He's got more base XP than the top ship on the losing team. So that is just fantastic. Thank you for sending that in, CaptCarolusRex, or Captain Knievel, whatever you're called these days. I really enjoyed watching it. I hope you guys did too. If so, give it a thumbs up. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.